Hey y'all, Tammy B here with exclusive and extremely transparent tips, tricks, and stories for wedding planners. After 20 years in the industry, I'm here to help you grow and sustain your wedding planning business from the inside out. Today, I want to talk to you about the wedding planner's C-suite. You want to know what that's all about? Stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so today we're going to be talking about the wedding planner's C-suite. That's C as in chief. As most of us know, when we are encountering like a corporation or a large business or even a large nonprofit, they have something called the C-suite. It's where all the chiefs and the executives do their work. And so I want to talk to you about who is in your C-suite. So for most wedding planners, we're solopreneurs. That means it's a one-person show, one woman or one man show. We'll talk about that later because I have issues with that. It's not really sustainable, but let's stay focused on the C-suite. So in your wedding planner C-suite, in your organization, in your company, in your firm, you want to make sure that there are at least 4 chiefs. Now, it may be you wearing 4 hats, but you want to make sure that those 4 roles are covered at all times. So you've got your CEO. That's usually what we, as the business owner, put down as, on our Instagrams or whenever we're introducing ourselves or on our business cards. You got your Chief Executive Officer. That's your CEO. That's you. And so you're responsible for all the other C's that I'm going to talk to you about today. The next very important person is your CFO, your Chief Financial Officer. That's your money person, right? So we'll talk about them today as well. The next person is the one that a lot of wedding planners and really your couples really are drawn to. That's your CCO. Your CCO, I like to consider your Chief Creative Officer. They're the person who's in charge of the floor plans, the themes, the visuals, the flowers, the linens, the attire. That's the creative person. That's going to give you the wow and the gorgeous, Instagram worthy and viral Moonalucci worthy photos that you and your couples desire. The other person who is highly important, all 4 of these people, all 4 of these roles are extremely important. And it's kind of hard to say one is more important than the other. So you'll hear me say they're all super important. But the other person is your Chief Operating Officer or Chief Operations Officer. They are the person who are responsible for the processes, procedures, and systems that have to make your wedding planning company work from behind the scenes. They're the things that the couples don't see, the vendors that you're working with, they don't see it, but it's evident on the wedding day how amazing the COO has done their job. So let's start with the CEO. That's you. You're head honcho. You're in charge of everyone. But more than anything, and most of all, you are the face and the brand of your company. You are responsible for the networking and the politicking and the meeting new people and getting your name out there and being the face. It's not an easy role, but it comes natural to a lot of business owners. You're an entrepreneur, so of course you're the CEO. You're the person at the top. You're the person that they're going to call for. My company was Blush Weddings and Events by Tammy B. And so when people called, they knew that Tammy B was the CEO. So that's one of the easiest things to kind of capture and to understand your role as, right? But a lot of the other roles that wedding planners do forget about are the other 3. And so I want to talk a little bit about those people and those roles so that you can know how to foster and grow in those roles. So the other person that I discussed was your CFO. That's the role you want to consult when you're doing a number of things, but they're going to help you put your budget together. Yes, I said your budget, your business budget. Do you actually have a business budget? where there's a line item for how much revenue you're targeting to come in this year, how much your bills are, what are you paying or what are you targeting to go out and rent if you rent a office space, marketing, social media, all of your expensive. Your team members, are you consulting with that role or with that person in your company to make sure that those things are being taken care of? We'll go into more detail in like other videos about these roles, but I just wanted to have you to start kind of getting your mind thinking. Again, my videos are really for novice wedding planners or people who are maybe within the first I'll say maybe no more than 3 to 5 years in their business. And so maybe you started your business out as kind of a side hustle and it's blowing up and you weren't really prepared to run a full-on business. Maybe you were really ready to start a full-on business and you just didn't know some of these things. And so I just really want you guys to start getting your mind thinking and making sure that these things are in place and that you've got all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, right? So again, your CFO, are you consulting with that person? Is that role actually being grown and fostered? The CCO. Now, this is the fun stuff. The CCO is the person or that part of you as the wedding planner that probably caught your client's eye. It's probably those beautiful photos on your website or on your Instagram or your Facebook or wherever you're advertising, right? That's the person who's responsible for getting out of the couple's minds what they see and getting it into their wedding. A main thing that you want to do is, even though this is a creative role, you still want to be strategic about how that role is executed in dealing with your clients. One of the things that I always like to do is talk about themes. So a lot of time a couple will come to you and say, oh, my theme is this. As a wedding planner, oddly enough, I loathe the word theme. I like to say your wedding focus or your event focus. Themes are for, like, I have a 5-year-old son. He loves Star Wars. He may have a Star Wars themed birthday party. However, I had a bride come to me once and said, oh, I want a Harry Potter themed wedding. Well, of course we didn't have like Harry Potter balloons or Harry Potter, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so forgive me if I don't have all the nooks and crannies of what Harry Potter does, but it wasn't very catchy, But what we did do is we took elements. I did the research and I found all these photos of Harry Potter's school and how there was always fog and this consistent blue uplighting or this blue kind of eerie, mystical feeling and light that was kind of consistent in all of the photos and still shots that I saw from the movie. We took a lot of whimsical things that we could incorporate and helped her build from there. But we did not take a literal transition of Harry Potter and bring it into an adult wedding. And so your chief creative officer is the person or the part of you that executes that type of thing. The next role that we will discuss is going to be your COO. Now, this is one of my favorite people. The COO is responsible for every single step from the moment you get an inquiry to the moment you close those doors in your office or in your house after the wedding. Like, everything is said and done. And even I would take it further than that, honestly. Our last contact with a couple would be 2 weeks following the honeymoon or 2 weeks following the wedding, giving them time to return from a honeymoon. And so that chief operations officer is responsible for everything, whether it's dealing with your customer, your client, whether you're dealing with your vendors or your team members and the interactions and workflow across all of those different communities or different people. That is so important. And I would venture to say that the COO may actually be more important than your CCO. Actually, I'm going to say that they are. Because my philosophy is it doesn't matter how beautiful a wedding is and how gorgeous you make a room with your design and decor and your creative sense. If your logistics and your operations, which start in the office, it doesn't start on the wedding day. It starts in the office. It's in your standard operating procedures. Are those actually written down? It's in your workflow, right? From the moment that your couple inquires with you, what is happening on a day-to-day basis with each account? Your COO is responsible for that, and it all unfolds on the wedding day. The evidence of a great COO comes out on the wedding day. How's your timeline going? How's your checklist going? How are you managing all of the vendors? Do the vendors have what they want? All of those things come from the COO. And so again, I have a philosophy that it doesn't matter how important or how gorgeous you've made the wedding environment or the event environment, if everything is haywires. Honestly, it'll probably make your client even more upset, because guess what? Design and decor is one of the most expensive things that they're going to purchase. And so if they've spent an enormous amount of decor, let's just say they spent $20,000 on design and decor, it could potentially make a customer even more upset that they spent so much money on their wedding and your logistics were out of order, i.e. your COO went on vacation and didn't come back. It could make them more angry that they spent all this money and everything went bananas. So your COO is very important. That's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about, probably more than anything, is logistics and systems. We've talked about the CEO, we've talked about the CFO, we've talked about the CCO, and we've talked about the COO. And so, thank you guys. You know, we've talked a little bit about each role and how important each role is in having a successful and sustainable wedding planning business. We'll dig more into these different roles as we continue to meet each other and talk to each other on this channel. But I really just wanted to start the conversation and give you an overview of like who's at the table. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for visiting my channel today. And I hope that this video got your mind thinking about, where's my CFO? Where's my CEO? Where are my chiefs? Who's in the C-suite? Thanks, you guys.